In the lead up to the women's 800 metres at the Rio Olympics, of which world champion Semenya will compete in, a lot has been made of the legitimacy of Shims and he-she's being able to compete against all natural breeders. If you have feet the size of men's, impairing your ability to stand closer to the kitchen sink, then you sure don't belong in the kitchen, and you sure as shit don't belong amongst a field of biological women in international competition. Semenya, who has testosterone levels 3 times the normal level of any woman, looks very masculine, has no womb or ovaries and has internal testes, and to top it off, is married to its long-term girlfriend, still wishes to identify as a woman. Looks like he/she has got it all figured out. One must raise the question, especially after the banning of the Russian track and field team for widespread doping, are we simply opening up another avenue for cheating, 21st century style, but have become such a bunch of soft, moist pussies to the left-leaning, accept nature's freak mistakes PC brigade? If you have most of the genetic markers of being male and more pointedly, a Y chromosome, but know that you probably won't cut it in male competition, simply identify as being great at scrubbing pots and making sandwiches, and you too can be bound for Olympic gold medal glory. But in all seriousness, who would want to see such he/she athletes competing in other Olympic sports such as hockey or netball? Let's face it, beautiful looking female athletes in short skirts is the only reason for the male demographic to be viewing those competitions. The inclusion of shims in those competitions would destroy what little marketability those sports actually do have. These he/she athletes are simply flouting the system and the laws of nature. There have been many occasions I have thought about identifying as a woman simply for my own personal endeavours, such as gaining entry to the women's change room or women's toilets, although I have heard that women's toilets are pretty disgraceful. It would seem that many women have a lot more trouble than any man after a hard night on the terps pissing straight. Given that we have the Olympics and the Paralympics, I am proposing another tier of international competition, the Shimlympics. All of the he/she's that are obviously too manly to be classed as women, but not quite good enough to be classed as real men, can strap down their oversized clitoris, tuck their nuts between their ass cheeks, and go for gold without providing a disadvantage to the natural order of things. In the interests of inclusiveness, we can put an invite to those banned Russian female athletes to join in. With the amount of juice they are probably on, the only preparations they need to make in order to provide less wind resistance in advance of such elite competition is to get out a Gillette and give it the best a man can get. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. I'm Tony Bhar.